monsters in the closet. Do we pay the right thing? I mean, I guess this is YouTube friendly because it's pasted all over Twitter.
Bueno.
Good deal. What's going on, guys? This is episode number 5 of the podcast here at the Rift. Enjoying life. This has actually been about a week or so since our last podcast because we're kind of going from we're putting out obviously 2 podcasts a week, and in that we are transitioning, moving around, doing different things, got life going on, right? And so with that, we recorded a few early episodes. Now it is May 31st. We have a podcast going out. What's today? It is was it a Friday? Thursday? No, it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. We have this podcast going out on Friday, and we'll get another one going out on Monday. But speaking of the Wednesday and today, it's been eventful. I'm not going to lie, okay? So if you guys didn't know, I lived in a van for a year and a half or so, okay? And that was for a lifestyle that was more along the line, I mean, obviously is a nomad, okay? Nomad lifestyle. But it was... There was little to no structure at all. I did it to save money. I did it because I wanted to have, essentially, with college going on, I wanted to have something where I would have the freedom to be wherever I want, do whatever I want. Long story short, lived in a van, didn't have much structure in that. Obviously, wasn't paying utilities because, you get the solar panel. I just fill up just from some water at my friend's house. Wasn't paying for utilities. Well, we came in this morning after working out. We get up early in the morning, about 5 o'clock, get to the gym about 5:45, hit our workout. We come back, and power was out. Okay, so we were like, okay, well, every once in a while, a transformer blows out, power goes out. That's fine, whatever. We'll just go see, we'll wait until it comes back on. Well, Parker, he goes and he checks out, because he has a dog that's here. He goes, checks out the rest of the complex, and the power's on. So I'm like, mine starts going. I start thinking, well, I'm paying for the utilities. How was that? Do we pay the right thing? Like, what's the deal here? Because if everyone else's power is on and ours is the only one off, that's an us issue. So, come to find out, hop my hotspot, I didn't pay the bill. So, I screwed up. Basically, that was, it was another card that got declined, ended up, that was a whole ordeal in itself. So, got on, paid the bill. Turns out they click it back on in a few hours. We went out to eat. It was like 4 hours or so, came back on. Well, we just went out to a little brunch place. It's 10 o'clock or so. Went to a brunch place, got some work done, had Wi-Fi and everything. Came back. When we came back, Parker's dog's been having some issues, right?
Yeah, she threw up once a few days ago, and she just had diarrhea the past few days. I thought maybe she just ate something bad. I wasn't really sure what happened, but yeah, we got home. Even this morning after the gym we got back, there was a little pile of throw up. Had to clean that up. We go out to eat because our power's out. Come back maybe 2 hours later, another pile of throw up. So mid clean up the throw up, I have her out running around the kitchen, and I hear an unpleasant noise to turn around and see the largest pile of straight just liquid diarrhea on our kitchen floor. So something was obviously wrong. So yeah, not to mention the power being out, then also had to take Ember to the vet. Just all around tough day.
Yeah, it was a tough day to say the least. From my point of view, I walk in, Parker walks in his door. He's already told me about throw up earlier or whatever. I guess it was yesterday or this morning or whatever. Well, then I walk into that, and I'm like, I mean, it's not my dog, so like you do it. You can deal with that. It's in his room. It's kind of out of the system. I go start doing some work, and then I start hearing, I'm doing some work, I'm on the phone, I start hearing, I mean, we're in our own rooms, we kind of do our own thing. Well, I start hearing some conversation going on in the living room. I come out to be hit with this aroma. And I'm telling you, this aroma is, I mean, it would have knocked a horse out. Okay. And so immediately I close that door, turn on the fan, and Parker informs me that there's been just a bigger accident going on with this dog.
And that's not even the worst part, because I cleaned it up with paper towels, toilet paper, pretty much everything we had on deck. And I'm telling you, when I say wet, she was walking around still dripping, so it was like everywhere. And we don't have a mop yet. We got brooms, we got vacuums, we don't got a mop. So I had to make a little Target run.
Yeah.
Go grab a little Swiffer sweeper, what do you call it? Come back and clean the whole floor, because it was just a bad deal. It was not fun.
Yeah. Well, it went to Target to pick up that stuff. Cleaned it all up.
Which, by the way, I was not happy about having to go to Target.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen all that stuff? Like, what's been going on with...
Dude.
They've lost so much money in the past few weeks. Yeah, I think it's been longer than the past few weeks, but people finally started standing up about all that stuff.
No. Well, so I went to Target, a couple weeks ago, and I'm walking through, and I see, you see all this rainbow stuff. I mean, it catches your eye, kind of bright or whatever. Well, then I just see, I mean, I guess this is YouTube friendly because it's pasted all over Twitter. I see queer everywhere, all over it. Maybe if this isn't YouTube friendly, then you'll just hear that blocked out. But I see that everywhere, and I'm like, is this okay? Like, is this I guess I assumed it was a bad word. I don't know. Maybe I was just ill-informed.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily I don't think that's necessarily I mean, it's not fun to walk in and see that plastered everywhere, but I think the bigger issue people are having are they're putting in in kids sections, they have clothes for kids saying transgender's not going away or come out, whatever, trying to influence kids to do this stuff. I think that's where everyone's kind of drawing the line.
Yeah, well, and the thing about that is it's similar to, I guess, the Balenciaga. And I think that's where a lot of it started, was with that and the using children as advertisements in a way that is not right. I'm a Christian. Parker's a Christian. We have Christian values. We grew up in Christian homes, and I think it's healthy to question your religion, but to bring in the complete and opposite of that into not only your life but the lives of other people and influence people to do, essentially do harm. That's not necessarily what Target is doing, but that was more Balenciaga. Get rid of that. And now people are realizing, where's that line? If you're going to bring this into children's lives and influence children and not let them make their own decision, I think that's crossing that line and crossing that barrier. And the thing about it is, in Target, were they necessarily targeting children? Maybe not, but
they had children's clothes that
said. Did they?
Yeah, that's where the big issue is for everybody. In the children's sections, little bibs and stuff saying transgender is not going anywhere. Stuff like why would a baby that's just the parent's opinion that they're putting on their child before they have an opinion.
No, it's that influence, and you've seen that in Disney. Have you seen that stuff in Monsters Inc., dude?
I don't think so.
Oh my! Monsters Inc. goes deep with it, with having children, because obviously the main character, or one of the main characters, is a child, and then having monsters in the closet. There's a bunch of stuff. If you watch that's
movie, really deep. I've never even thought about that,
dude. If you watch that movie now and you think about stuff like that, it gets pretty. Would I let my child watch that nowadays? No, heck no. And some of the other stuff that goes in Disney is what exactly were we looking here?
Disney's always been kind of sketch. They've always had deep meanings behind their stuff, good or bad.
Yeah.
Don't know, but they've always had deeper meanings.
Yeah, and that's the thing behind these big media companies and what they talk about, what they promote. It always kind of has another layer to it, right? Media, in a sense, is giving out information and arming the public with information that they can use on their everyday lives. And you see that with the news. You see that with, media like Disney. You see that with movies that go around everywhere. And I think nowadays people are starting to stand up to that. Nowadays, with platforms like this, like talking on podcasts and having that information, that knowledge that we think about and that we inquire and we use critical thinking. That's why we've started this, to give that information to you guys. And I think everyone's kind of understanding this and they're realizing this, that, hey, we're now in control of media. It doesn't have to be certain corporations or certain individuals who control this. Like, do they? Somewhat? Yeah, because we had to post this on YouTube, right? In order for you guys to watch this and get access to it. So is there still restrictions to it? Yes. Like I said, I don't know if we can even use the word queer because we have to restrict ourselves somewhat. But in that, it is still more freedom than it is to get on NBC or get on ABC or have that late night talk show, right? To get on there and have a platform, that was a lot more difficult. And now in 2023, we're able to have these conversations to select few who want to watch it. And with that, you can then grow your own platform and grow your own place and organization in that. And I think, once again, people are realizing, like, we don't necessarily have to go into these media companies, watch and absorb this stuff that may not need to be absorbed by everyone.
I mean, times are definitely changing. I mean, Target, for example, Bud Light, I don't know how much, they lost a ton of money. There's tons of companies. I think companies will start realizing, like, maybe it's not a good idea to promote that stuff because I think people are just sick of it at this point. Like,
for real. No, and yeah, Bud Light, for instance, I mean, if you look at the stock market in Bud Light, the equities, the shares have stayed the same, but the money per share has decreased drastically. Like, you can tell that people are not going to, they're not, I mean, they're standing up to it. They're not going to take this crap just being fed to us, especially Bud Light. I mean, the marketing behind that, you got to look at your audience. Like, who are you targeting? As a company, you want to make money. And doing these political campaigns or stances, I think, is kind of going the other way. And does that mean if your target audience is right-wing liberal, do you need to target those guys? Maybe not. But why don't you just like go for the broad approach of just trying to make the most money? So don't take a stance. Yeah, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even like there's tons of, even like North Face, like their new ad. Like, let me preface this by saying I'm not 100% sure if it came from North Face, but it looks real, and like they're targeting children. Like, have you seen that?
No. North Face ad?
Yeah, I'll pull it. It's this guy. He's a transgender woman, I think is how you say it. He's a guy that went to a lady, has a mustache, but he has a wig, dressed like a woman, and he's like telling kids to come out. Basically, let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah. Pull that up. Heck with Hunter, man. Get him over here. His wedding day isn't until Saturday. All right.
Let me pull it. I'm sure it's one of the top trending things. Yep, first thing.
Oh my goodness.
A real-life homosexual. And today,
Okay.
I'm here with the North Face. We are here to invite you to come out in nature with us. Wow, this is nice. We like to call this little tour the Summer of Pride. This tour has everything. Hiking.
All right, I think it's enough. I think you get the point.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
I don't know.
This is not North Face,
I
is
saw
it?
The first time I saw it, it was from a verified account, which I mean, obviously doesn't mean anything nowadays, but it looks real. And there was like, I don't know, it came from a somewhat credible source. I don't know. It starts with like I was talking to my parents the other day, and we were talking about Target, and my mom, if you know my mom, you know my mom.
Yeah. But she's just every day, just probably leaning more towards the right side.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So she tells me, she's like, oh, I'll never shop at a Target again. Like, if they're gonna do this stuff, I'm never gonna shop. I was like, well, did you see? Like, she wears North Face all the time. So I go, well, did you see what North Face did? And she's like, well, I don't know if that's real. Probably because she don't want to throw out thousands of dollars of North Face jackets she owns, but she's coping. I don't know if she'll throw it out or not, but I think she's just gonna tell herself it's not real.
Yeah, I mean, there's cope behind that, and I understand. There's some things like Balenciaga cost a lot of money. It's like, well, did they mean that? There's some gray area, and that's the thing that there is that gray area, and some people go towards one side where it's all, like that is completely okay. And, the kids should be able to be exposed to this because it's real life. But then there's also other side where it's like, do I want my kid to be exposed to this? Do they need to, or can they just make their decision for their own and not be get this stuff shoved down their throat where you have to go with this certain ideology? And that's essentially the programming behind the world. And really, do we have our own ideas, right? Or are ideas implanted by the media and implanted by our parents and the people that are surrounding us? And I think that is how it is. I mean, heck, even your name, right? Your name wasn't chosen by you. I didn't choose the name Jake. I didn't choose the name Jake Summers. That wasn't me. It was my parents. They gave me that name, and their parents gave them their last name, and that's continued down. And so even just being born on this earth, you don't have a lot of the ideas. And that's the thing, nature versus nurture, and the
exactly
difference.
What I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, the difference between nature versus nurture. And so how much of us are in nature and how much of us are being nurtured by was it being raised in the ideas and indoctrination of whatever it may be, whatever ideas your parents have or whatever ideas the media wants to present to you. I don't know. Like I said, that's why we made this podcast. We just want to explore these ideas and talk about them and just have a conversation with you guys where you can listen in and maybe explore things for your own. And is it really needed to shove these ideas down people's throats? Maybe. Is it not? I don't know necessarily. My opinion would be no. Don't do that. Make your own decisions for yourself. Use critical thinking and the skills that you have and you were blessed with as a human being to think for yourself, to question things, because questioning everything inevitably comes down to what I think our purpose as human beings are and why we need to strive to question more, because curiosity is what us as humans have. Instead of a gut feeling like animals have, we can have that feeling, but also think logically behind things and use our logic to go out and make informed decisions to find more and discover more. And so, like I said, with that, we explored these ideas in our podcast. But guys, that's probably going to do it for episode 5. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you found something out of this podcast that is worth value. And if you did, go ahead and let us know. Let us know down below in the comment section. And guys, I will basically sign off there. If you enjoyed it, thank you. Hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, guys, talk to you in the next one. Peace.